You begin as something barely alive, a wrinkled black seed, light as lint, flicked into a shallow trench with a dozen others. The soil is lukewarm, loose, and smells faintly of decay and damp roots. You don't move, you don't even know how. You just sit, waiting for the rhythm of rain and warmth to unlock whatever's dormant inside. And then one day, pop. A taproot shoots down. A pale shoot curls up. You split yourself open like a puzzle, and piece by piece you construct the start of a life. The surface isn't far off, and when you finally break through, you're hit by a whole new world. Gusty air, shifting clouds, flickering sunlight. It's overwhelming. Your first leaf, thin, green, and soft as thread, quivers in the breeze. You're barely holding it together. But onions are builders. Quietly beneath the soil, you begin your main project, the bulb. Your top half grows slowly, adding layers of tubular leaves like long green swords. But your lower half, that's the vault. Each day, energy flows down from your leaves and settles at your base. There, your stem thickens, divides, and folds in on itself. You're creating rings, juicy, sharp, translucent, not for beauty, for survival. Everything depends on the weather. A few cloudy days and your sugar levels stall. A dry spell and your outer layers start to wrinkle. Too much water and your roots drown. There's no room for drama. It's just math. Sun, water, soil, time. And let's not forget the enemies. You'd think you're safe buried halfway in the ground, but oh no, the assaults come non-stop. White maggots tunnel through your bulb like vandals. Fungal spores land on your leaves and creep in like fog. Beetles nibble. Grubs gnaw. And you? You can't swat or scream. You just stand there, bleeding sap and hoping it dries fast enough not to attract mold. Still, you grow. That's all you can do. As the weeks pass, your bulb fattens. It tightens beneath the surface, layer after layer, like a vault made of glassy tissue. You feel the shift. You're almost mature. The green blades above begin to yellow at the tips. That's natural. You're nearing the finish line. But then the humans show up. Rubber boots stomp through the beds. A gloved hand lifts your neighbour and inspects its base. Then another, and then, without warning, you're grabbed, yanked. The earth gives way with a soft pop, and suddenly you're dangling in midair, roots exposed, skin streaked with soil. You're not ready. Not emotionally. But that doesn't matter. Your fate has moved above ground now. They don't eat you yet. That would be too kind. First, they lay you in the sun. It's called curing, and it sounds gentle, but it's not. For days, you're roasted in heat and wind. Your leaves collapse. Your outer skin dries into a brittle husk. Moisture escapes from your pores in a slow, invisible exhale. The goal? To make you stop being alive, without making you rot. You can feel your flesh change. Less water, more bite. You become pungent, protective. Your layers tighten like armor. The others lie beside you, hundreds of onions baking on the same patch of dry earth. No one speaks. This is a quiet part of the cycle, a waiting room for the next phase. You're no longer growing, you're preserving, bracing for what comes next. And what comes next? Well, it depends. Sometimes it's a crate and a dark cellar. Sometimes it's a basket at a street market. Sometimes it's a ride in a truck, stacked in mesh bags with your papery skin rattling with every bump. But no matter where you end up, you know the cutting board is waiting, and that's where things really get painful. You make it to the kitchen. It's not glamorous. You were hoping for maybe a farmer's market photo shoot or a rustic bowl by a sunny window. Instead, you land in a mesh bag shoved between a sack of potatoes and a leaking bottle of vinegar under the sink. For a while, you just sit in the dark. You dry further. Your skin rustles like old paper. You feel your scent concentrating, sharper, meaner. You've gone from fresh to formidable. No one wants to eat a raw onion for fun. You're not here to be sweet. You're here to add punch. Then the door creaks open. A hand reaches in. They're not gentle. You're grabbed, juggled in their palm like a baseball, and carried to the counter. The chopping board awaits. This is it. The blade is shiny, cold. You feel it before it even touches you. A kind of tingle. Then the first slice comes, clean and smooth, right through your crown. Snap. The green shoots fall off. Then another cut. Your dry skin is peeled away like wrapping paper nobody cared about. And then the knife digs in deeper. Your cells burst. Sulfur compounds mix with enzymes that haven't seen daylight since you sprouted. In seconds, you're releasing gas into the air. Your final act of defiance. The cook blinks, then winces. Then the tears come. That's you. You've just made a grown adult cry. You don't mean to. You're not trying to be cruel. It's just part of your biology. You evolved to be unappetizing to anything with teeth. But humans? They like the pain. They sauté it with butter. They roast it into sweetness. They stack it raw on burgers like a badge of bravery. The knife keeps moving. Chop, dice, mince. Every piece of you is scattered across the board in irregular shapes, each ring separating from the others like tiny lifeboats. There's no going back. You're everywhere now. In the air, in their eyes, in the oil sizzling in the pan. And then comes the heat. Your sliced bits hit the skillet and sizzle like tiny fireworks. Everything gets louder. You feel your structure breaking down. Your sharpness melts into sweetness. You caramelize, turning golden, then amber, then nearly brown. You smell amazing. That's not bragging. Even you can smell it. You're triggering hunger like a professional, all that pain, all that sulfur. It's cooking into something new, something edible, something addictive. Eventually you're scraped out of the pan and spooned into something else, maybe a stew, maybe a burger, maybe a taco. You don't get to choose, you don't even get to stay whole. You dissolve, blend in, disappear into the mix. Your bold flavour becomes background music, tying everything together. No one remembers the onion, but everything tastes worse without it. That's the kicker. You're essential but invisible. You die crying and nobody even says thank you. But if you think that's the end, guess again. In some houses, they don't even cook you. They pickle you. They dice you and drop you into vinegar, salt, and sugar. You sit in a jar, bleached pink and twitching from acidity. You're still alive, chemically speaking, just in a kind of suspended animation. Sour, crunchy, preserved. Or worse, they eat you raw. A bite straight through your juicy ring. No heat, no softening, just the full blast of your flavour, unfiltered and unapologetic. People either love it or they wince like they just swallowed fire. Either way, you make an impact. Sometimes you dream of being a shallot. They're treated with more finesse. Or a garlic bulb, dramatic, mysterious, roasted whole like royalty. But no, you're an onion. You're working class, functional, intense. You've lived underground, battled fungus, dodged rot, weathered floods, and survived storage. All to end up as a flavour enhancer in someone else's spotlight. Still, you take pride in the role. You may not get centre stage, but every dish remembers you. Even if they don't know it.